Konnichiwa, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to be talking about multiple buyers. Eigo desu. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. This is the 7th year of the Sales Japan Series podcast, broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku here in downtown Tokyo. It is chic central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. Plus, Stop Wasting Money on Training in Japanese, Training de Okane o Mura ni suru no wa yamemashou, and all are available on Amazon. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive and, even better, thrive in business. 1. Sell more and do it more easily. 2. Exceed your targets. In fact, blow up your targets. 3. Make some serious money. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series, and every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 356, and today we're talking about dealing with multiple buyers. Usually in Japan, we meet more than one buyer. In Western meetings, it is more likely to be a one-on-one situation. Sometimes the buyer boss will bring others to the meeting, and they are there to represent their functions and report back what has taken place. The danger is we just focus on the boss and ignore their henchmen. These hangers-on have important roles to play in the decision-making process about the purchase, so it is very unwise to ignore them and spend all of your time just addressing the boss, assuming there is only one decision-maker present. In bigger meetings, it becomes much harder to gauge who is who. It's not unheard of in Japan for the most senior person to say very little during the meeting, and they may even look like they are sleeping. The other tangent we can go off on is focusing on the English speaker, imagining that they are a key decision maker. In large companies, that is rarely the case. They are just considered a technician by their colleagues, and they may have very little influence on the buying decision. In larger meetings, it is always good to work the entire room and try and engage with everyone. If you are using an interpreter, this should make no difference. Address each person on a one-on-one basis in English, and let the interpreter catch up with what you have been saying. It doesn't matter about the time lag if the interpreting is being done consecutively. The fact that you're looking at and speaking directly to that person will have the desired effect. Most Japanese business people understand a lot more English than they let on as well, and for various reasons may choose not to speak in English, when in fact they can do it well. You might be asking, why is that? Part of it is hierarchy and roles for the meeting. Usually one of the better English speakers will be tasked with being the interlocuteur for the buyer. The others are there to hear what is going on as they represent their divisions or sections, but are not required to speak. They also may choose to use the interpreter when they get into some questions, because that lag gives them a lot more thinking time. Another reason is they either are a bit shy about their own proficiency and don't want to embarrass themselves, or the opposite. If they are very good, they don't want to show everyone else up and embarrass others who are not so good, particularly if the latter are the more senior people. You often discover at the end of the meeting, as you're heading for the elevators, that many of them have perfect English. This is always a bit of a shock, because you were humming along thinking they couldn't understand what was going on in English. Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs, as well as we do them in both Japanese and English. We do them face-to-face in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. The show today is presented by, on the 29th of August, our Step Up to Leadership program, one-day bridging program to get you into leadership. And a very important program on the 30th of August, storytelling. We all need this one. Go to our website at www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, which in Japanese is Zaegyo. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane wo Muru ni Sunu wa Yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. If you like learning by watching videos, we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from small and medium enterprises all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. We know that there will be a consensus reached about the purchase, and so every section has a part in the final decision, and that is why we have to work the entire room. We don't ignore the boss, but the leader is expecting others to do the due diligence and then make a recommendation, which by the time it gets to the inner circle of the top, it has been agreed upon across all affected areas and will become a fait accompli. In smaller meetings, say 3 people, it is easy for us to concentrate on the most senior person, but again, that is a mistake. The boss has brought these other people with them for a reason, and they need to be included as well. Even the most junior person needs to be included because often they are given the grunt work to evaluate the offer. These more junior people will often ask the questions because they know they'll have to come up with some type of report on the matter. We need to draw them into the discussion and find out what angles they are most interested in, and then try and connect with them along those lines. Usually after the meeting, we will communicate with these people rather than with the boss. They have a reporting function, so it is very important to follow up with them and find out what type of information they need and then proceed to give it to them. They're often in more command of the details than the boss as well, so they are a good source of information and a good destination for our information. They can become a strong internal champion in this process, and we should work toward that outcome. They can also give us good guidance on what we present and how to present it, because they know their internal systems perfectly, which for us will remain a mystery for the most part. Bosses can be moved around to a new post, but these more junior people tend to stay in one place longer, and they can be a valuable ally across time. In a few years, they may in fact become the boss, and we've built up a strong connection with them where the trust has gradually been cemented. When dealing with multiple buyers in a sales call, treat everyone as a decision maker because they are. Don't ignore the boss, of course, but don't cozy up to the boss and ignore the others either. That will be a mistake, and the whole room will recognize you are clueless about how things work in Japan. Not a great start for a salesperson here. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, then please work on your karma and share this with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Go out there and survive. Use it and make some serious money. Bucks, dough, moolah, coin, dosh, lolly, readies, smackers, earners, and bread and honey. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in nip off.